So David and I, as you could probably tell, have become friends over the years in doing this. I don't know, it's 4 or 5 plus years ago that you first came over from London to this event, and you've seen it grow, and you frankly are a big part of why this has grown. So thank you again for your contribution. Quick question for you all. Who was not here yesterday? I'm going to call you out right now. Who was not here yesterday? Dirk? So most of you were here yesterday. That's good. So Rob, we were giving you some love yesterday, about how O&A and relationship analytics is a high value initiative, and it's also something that is really important to potentially humanize the employment experience, to understand who we are, how we fit with others, and so forth. So we're going to introduce Rob in a second, but before we do, I want to, David and I both want to do this because, we want to show our photos up there. No, when we first started this, when David first came over, did we have sponsors then? I don't even know.
Yeah, you just started.
We just had a few, huh?
Yeah, just had a few dotted around.
Yeah, and so we were sharing more and more what we were doing, and this started as a practitioner-only event, where we were just sharing ideas, leading practices, but we really came to the conclusion, based on the thinking and creativity of some accomplished people analytics leaders, say, hey, we're trying to take the next step, and there's so-and-so vendor doing this, or so-and-so solution provider doing this, and we want to hear from them. So we started inviting sponsors, and 2 became 4, became 8, and now we have some of the most prominent organizations in not only the people analytics space, but in the broadly HR tech space. And we might even extend it beyond that to just simply how work gets done and how we are actually going to be, and this is what Rob's going to be talking about, at least to an extent, how these disruptions that are happening in the economy and the marketplace are going to affect how we function as humans. So thank you to these sponsors. Any comments on that? Anything else? No?
No, yeah, as usual, you've captured everything else.
I talked too much. People Data for Good is why we're here. We decided, and David and I, he picked up on something I said, not only do we have an opportunity to create real impact in people's lives, but a responsibility to do so. That was one of the first times that we became, oh God, he's actually listening to me. Someone's listening to me. Mom, look at, someone's listening to me. But it is something that has fast forward become our point of view. It's not just a People Analytics and Future of Work conference. It is about people data for good. We are trying to have a narrative around how we're humanizing the work experience as well as trying to drive business value. So anything about that, David?
I think the other thing linked into what Rob's going to be talking about, I think might have been a year ago, might have been 2 years ago at the conference, we actually had a poll, live poll, and we asked all the practitioners in the room, what was the tool or technique that you were most interested in learning more about in the people analytics space? And O&A came out way above at the top. Yeah. And I suspect if we ran that survey now, we'd probably get a similar answer, I think.
Yeah, no, I would 100% agree with that. Thanks for that. David and I, again, going back a couple years, given the network that he has created and I and others have created, it's like, how do we harness this energy and ideas? So we had tossed around the idea of creating what has now become the Global People Analytics Network. So it's a way to organize locally. So now we're in the process of recruiting local chairs. So in certain regions around the world, you can organize not only based on region, but also through the platform on areas of interest, whether it be O&A or data visualization or creating coherent stories, whatever the case is. So if you haven't done so already, you can go to PAFOW.net and learn more about that. This is where I get really excited because we're going to announce today, and David's not going to go there unless you want to. So if you don't know, we did San Francisco was our flagship event. We're obviously in Philadelphia yesterday and today. And we did London for the first time in partnership with Barry Swales, who used to do People Analytics World. We did London. We're going to do it again. We're committed to the QE2 for April 29th and 30th. San Francisco is going to be a 2.5-day event. It's going to start on the 29th, and we're going to go through the 31st. And now we're announcing that we're going to go to Sydney March 3rd and 4th, 2020. So we had a really strong Aussie contingent yesterday, so we're going to have even more, down there. The reason I say David's not going to go unless he wants to, he gets around quite a bit. He just got back from India, so the world wants to know what David has to say. So he's going to anchor today, by the way. So one more thing, and David, I'll let you introduce Rob. If you want to go deeper into the topics, and this afternoon, as if you look at the agenda, it is updated. There's been one session added at 2:05 that I'm actually going to conduct in the Independence Room, going through the audit visualization process for people analytics. So those are for people who are just starting out, who want to learn what the process is to socialize, your vision, and again, the roadmap to achieve it. So we're going to do rapid fire, but at that same time, Bridie Lear is going to be in here talking about appropriate data. So, whatever's appropriate for you, make sure you do that. But Heather Whiteman, who you've heard from yesterday likely, and today, she's going to be joining me and Stacia Garr in Santa Cruz, California. So I finally wised up and realized I live in a pretty nice place. So we're having people actually come to us. So again, if you want to go deeper in how to build a vision and roadmap in your organization, come visit us in November.